going to work today, I felt led to talk about training in general and the limitations that people place on themselves. So, a couple of stories. A long time ago, 2 years ago, I was working with an individual, and they had a job in the military that was highly respected and did a lot of high-end things that were elite. And we ended up posting a video that he had caught wind of that some of his people had said to him questionable. And he asked me about it, and we were using a Viking Tactics barricade that I had made out of plywood. Or I think it was his. Either way, it doesn't matter. We were using a Viking Tactics barricade, and he asked me, since when do you use a pistol to shoot through a rifle barricade? And I said, am I not supposed to? He goes, well, you don't use a pistol on a rifle barricade. It's not designed that way. And he said, besides, when would you ever shoot through something with a pistol? You shoot over, around, or under. And I said, why would I do that? Now, I wanted to understand the why, because if I understand the why, then I'm more inclined to change the way that I'm training or change the way that I'm shooting. My thought process on it is I don't care what the barricade is used for. I'm going to make use of every aspect of it, because at some point in life, may not be presented with an obstacle that comes up to where I would have to shoot through a odd-shaped hole with my pistol. Now I understand it's not desirable. I absolutely get that, but that doesn't change the fact that why am I putting a limitation on my training? Because that's not what the barricade was designed for. It was a rifle barricade designed to shoot rifles from, and you're not supposed to shoot pistols through the holes of that barricade. But he could never give me the why. He just said, just don't do it. So, okay, whatever. It's your range. I'll shoot how you want me to shoot. And then I have another video that was, it was the same similar thing came up about this thing called the malfunction stick. And I originally heard the idea of the malfunction stick from Chase Jenkins at Talon Defense in Alabama, I think it is. And they use a piece of, I guess, a metal rod or something with a piece of Kydex on the end so that it doesn't damage the firearm in any way when they're doing malfunction clearances. And I was like, we were using it, and I use it to induce malfunctions so that we get better understanding of how the malfunctions work and everything like that. So then he asked me, well, at what point is somebody ever going to come up and just touch your gun and you're not going to, allow them to do that? You're just going to allow people to just jam up your gun? I said, well, that's not the point of it. The point of it is to have as close to organic malfunctions that we have to clear using, what we have as far as our knowledge of how the gun works, our knowledge of what we see. Okay, I see brass. What do I do to clear that thing? I do that. So your deductive reasoning and the timing it takes to go from the problem to the fix gets shorter and shorter. And I know this works because I worked with a Marine who, several actually, who came out one day to train with me. And this was on my dad's personal property. And it took him 15 seconds previously to clear a stovepipe malfunction. And so And this was with military training and, basic military training, not some advanced elite group. And so we sat down and we covered some stuff. We went back out and we trained, and I started using, at the time I didn't have a malfunction stick, so I ended up using a piece of 1x2, and I was using it to stop the action of the round coming, or the shell coming out of the ejection port. And his reaction time went from over here, this end of the spectrum, of like 13 to 15 seconds down to just under 2 seconds, to where he was able to identify and clear the malfunction, get gun back up on target in just under 2 seconds. That is a drastic change that provides you time when you need that time the most. Your gun goes down, oh crap, fix it. Because to me, that's when the stopwatch is going, like, hurry up, get it back up into the fight, and so he's like, well, it's just not practical training. So, okay. Then I heard a 15-minute video or so of Corinne Mosier talking about it, and she talked about it the exact same way as I did, because it was isolating a specific skill of the malfunction clearance aspect of it, with the time being shortened by you're able to identify and react quicker, providing you more time to get back into the engagement. I've seen several arguments. One of the arguments I saw from Aaron Baruga, I think he's a Special Forces guy too. He makes a valid argument. They don't train that way. I understand, but you can't deny that it works. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect any Special Forces community at all by saying this. Their guns are built at a different level than everyone else's. It still doesn't change the fact that there is knowledge that you must learn to go from identification and clearing, and how they do it is one way, and how other people do it is another way. Doesn't mean that either way is wrong. They both receive the same outcome, where you eventually get to the point where it's that fast. But when I did it the way that I was shown and from Chase Jenkins, is that it took somebody who didn't have any knowledge of it to go from a long time in between identification and clearing down to a short time in a shorter amount of time. Like, where I think they said they spend a day on malfunction clearance with pain management training. Like, if you get it wrong, you got to do push-ups or whatever the case is. Well, I can take and do the same thing in an hour or less time with it, and you will understand it more in the context of how I train people, because it's not like I'm not training people in Special Forces. I'm just training them how to operate the firearm. I'm not training tactics or anything like that, because I'm not Special Forces. And so I just thought it was interesting as to the same argument that was made by Aaron Baruga when he was saying this is also the same type of person who is shooting paper targets or shooting steel targets. Well, when are you ever going to be shooting paper or steel in real life? You're not. But it's an isolation of a specific skill that you're doing by shooting the steel targets or by shooting the paper. This is the exact same when using the malfunction stick that I made, and the one that I've seen Chase Jenkins use, is that you're isolating the specific skill of the identification to the reaction to fix the problem. Obviously, if somebody comes up to mess with your gun, you're going to stop them and all that stuff. But you have to isolate specific skills and to work on those, to hone them to where they become instinct, and you don't have to think about it, you just do it. And so I was just thinking, about it because I really can't stand it when people say, well, you can't do something in training, and I ask why, and they just say, well, you just can't. Okay, well, why can't I? Like, am I violating the 4 firearm safety rules? No. Am I doing it because, am I not going to do it just because you don't want me to? Then that's a reason, then just say it. But give me something so that I can understand the why behind it. If I understand the why behind it, then it helps me to fix the problem and move forward. If I don't understand the why behind it, then how am I ever going to fix it and get better? I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.